Welcome to Rocky River for another casted game. On the south side of the river this time we have Louis V or Louis V in purple as the Abbasid dynasty, and on the north side we have my old mate moreknights.com and Nemia Shoes in the teal or the blue as the Mongols. So while we head over and watch their scouts doing their business, we're going to be talking about the changes to both of these civilizations in this most recent patch. So I've got the notes open here on my phone and I'm going to talk you through them as we go because there's been quite a few. So Abbasid has seen quite a few buffs actually. So Fertile Crescent, which is part of their eco wing age up, has gone from 30% to 35%, so that farm transition and TCs and all that good stuff is going to be, that's that little bit cheaper. They've also got some buffs to armoured caravans for trade units, which makes their trade units chunkier and they survive a bit more of a beating. Then they've also got a new tech in the culture wing, which is public libraries, which adds 2 HP to all villagers and traders for each ecotech researched, which when I've seen the results of that, I think the maximum you can get to is over 140 health per villager now, and especially with fresh foodstuffs, that actually makes them 33% cheaper as well, is just absolutely insane. And then the Camel Archers have also seen a health buff in feudal and in castle, I believe. So from 140 to 150, 170 to 175, and then the camel riders have had their costs adjusted, so more wood and gold but slightly less food, which is going to make it a bit easier to mass them up, which makes them even stronger. So, and that's just Abbasid. If we now switch over to Mongols and we have a little look at the Khan where he's running around getting all of those sheep, because we don't have any tower rushes today, guys, which is good because I wasn't paying attention at all. And the Mongols, if we have a look at their changes, because they've also got a few, so their pasture sheep train time has been reduced, so that's a nice little buff to sheep. They get the tech for raid bounty has been decreased for 45 seconds, so it's easier to get. A couple of other tech changes, and they've also got the improved superior mobility, which is an improved version in the feudal age, which increases the movement speed of packed buildings by 20%. Deerstones as a landmark also got a nice little change, which allows them to unlock the Khan Hunters, which is a unit which buffs Mangudai, and they're trained in the range, so hopefully we're going to see some Mangudai Khan Hunter play. And they also have an aura that improves the range of nearby ranged units, which especially benefits Mangudai. So those are definitely a Mangudai buff unit. And the Kaganat Palace also got a change where it was changed from 4 Mangudais to 3, and 3 Mangudais with 2 hunters. So again, you get 5 units now rather than 4. And the Horse Archer army is also changed from 5 to 4 Horse Archers and a Khan Hunter, so another little buff there, a change to get those used. If we take a little look over what's happening over here, we have just 2 early horsemen. Oh, okay, so a nice, nice little early horseman pump there for shoes, and as we see, military wing going up. So this is going to give him those 2 spears and 2 archers, and then he can do whatever he likes with those. So Louis gone quite heavy onto wood here, so whether we're going to be seeing a TC dropped in the back, I'm not quite sure, but the Khan is going around to keep an eye on what they are doing. If we go over to the More Knights base, then we can see Deerstones going up, which is going to give us those buff and allow access to those Khan Hunters, which is going to be really good. So those horsemen running away, getting away from that TC fire, we can see them now circling around trying to find some damage, but this age up's going to come through in like 15 seconds and he's going to have to be really careful of those spears. So let's see, is he going to be able to get a little pop off on these villagers? Is Louis, nice reaction speed there from Louis, and oh, that was really nice, just pulling them back. So this is what you'll see a lot of good players doing. So these guys are sort of high plat diamond. More Knights actually hit diamond the other day as well, which was really good, so congratulations to him on that one. And where you pull your villagers back and then you just rally them back and they will just run away and go back, rather than just all jumping in the TC for no reason. We got fresh foods up going up, so Louis knows what he's doing with these Abbasid guys, making sure those villagers are cheaper. No stone as of yet. It's seems like it's quite exposed. Maybe that's the close one. So actually double stone spawn for him, which maybe will give him a TC, advantage later. These horsemen giving the archers and the spears a little run around, so keeping them busy, but nothing just yet, and we can see a barracks coming up for him, and Louis also been pushed off the gold, so it looks like we're going to be seeing some feudal aggression, and he doesn't have any upgrades, but going for the stone potentially, so maybe a slow TC, and these units are going to have to stay here to defend. The deer stones is just about coming up. We've just got the stables on the Uvu, so whether we're going to see a range dropped in a minute so that we can get those Mangudai and the Khan hunters. And almost like I predicted it, I'm not psychic, guys, I promise. We're going to see those, and they are rallied over to defend the gold. So there we go. These military wing units are staying over here and defending. A couple more spears coming out for the inevitable cavalry horde from Shoes. So this is something you've got to be really careful with the Mongols, and something that always catches me is with all that cavalry, you need to be really careful that they're not going to do too much damage. These nice units chasing him round, but still keeping these horsemen alive, and these early units, if you lose them, that's a big investment and slower age up. So if you can't do damage, you really need to make sure you're keeping them alive for future usage. The Khan's popping back over now, popping his little falcon so that Shoes has vision. So if we take a little look, he can see what's going on now and when they pull off that stone, so he'll know when that TC is about to drop. And as we thought, we're going to be seeing the Khan hunters. Here we go. Look at these guys. So I haven't actually seen this model yet. They are awesome. The animation is crazy. So they get their scouting falcon as well, which is quite cool. And then they have that aura around them, so that's why they've got that nice little glow. And so if we take a little look at the stats for attack, but it's really got to all be about that aura giving extra range damage or extra range. Oh, interesting. Right. So it's actually just increased range, so they're going to be even more volatile because they can fire from a much greater distance. That's really quite crazy. So we've got a couple of Keshiks here. We've got the speed arrow being popped, with the Hermes foot flying in the sky, and these guys are going to be running around. So these also, the Mangudai and the Khan, they don't actually have to stop now. So getting caught out by those spears. Oh, Keshik going down. That's a lot of damage being taken there. So gonna have to be really careful of these pokey guys, because from what I know, the pokey guys beat the horsey guys. If we see on the back line the horse being taken out, trying to idle those berries, and now More Knights is taking them on a merry chase. The mobility on these ranged units is really strong, so they're going to be able to keep them going for days. We've got a lot of stone coming in actually, so actually enough for a TC and a half. A very safe TC there, so yeah, I probably would have gone for it against the wood line, just because then you can easily rally there and it's somewhere you can jump into. But keeping it safe there and not exposed, I think, is the right choice with these Mongol units going around. So Keshik, the Hunter, and the Khan there, the trio, 3 musketeers charging around trying to do damage, but that Keshik is taking a huge whack, and he also goes down. So nice defense there from Louis. He's doing really well to keep those down. And we've got a couple of Mangudai now. These numbers starting to build, and as I can tell you from a recent game against horse archers, these ranged cavalry units, once they get massed up, they are really hard to defend against. So he's able to kite. Look at that. He's firing over his shoulder. This is just amazing to watch. It's and so now he's going to be able to kite these spears and keep them off there. So if he can keep them off the Keshiks, then he's going to be in a really good spot. And a Keshik catching those archers on the back there. And quick, is he going to get away before he gets caught? So just, oof, nice little bit of micro. And now the Mangudai and the Hunters are whittling down those spears very quickly. So now this is where Louis is going to have to be really careful, because if those spears can't make contact, the Keshiks are going to be able to go and clean up any archers very easily. So look, they're just running past and still really quickly mowing these guys down. So this is now going to start getting really scary for him. If we take a look at his base, he's on the double TC. It looks like he's very heavy on food, but no gold as of yet. So it looks like we're potentially going to be going for massing up more units. If we take a look over at Shoe's side, he's got 6 on gold, so there's another gold somewhere somewhere around. And the markets, here we go. So we've also got trade coming in now. So Gonna have to make sure Louis gonna have to make sure that he puts a stop to this trade very quickly, otherwise it's gonna really start kicking off. Even with deer stones instead of silver tree, it's going to start giving a massive boost to his eco, and especially because of the trade post. Let's take a look here. So the trade posts are also in a really good position that you're going to get the full length of the map, and now getting caught under the spears and the TC fire, so the Mangudai are going to be going down very quickly. They have no ranged armor, so this is, or very low ranged armor. Let's get one before they all die. So no ranged armor, so they do get caught out by spears, and so these walls, to slow them down and to get them caught in there, is really the best thing that you can do, because it means that they're going to get caught out and fall down like that. Double TC fire and spears on the back. That's a huge loss there for Shoes, as he is circling around with his only cav build. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any non-cavalry units for a while from the looks of things. So Louis needs to keep massing up these archers to get the Mangudai down, and we can see some camels in queue which are also going to debuff the cavalry. So I think that's a really good play from Louis. So if we take a look here, if we look 72 gold and 7 food, that's a huge amount for those, and these guys are really starting to go even higher, so we're going to get more and more of these as we go. We can see that the mass of Louis is starting to move out across the map, going to catch a Mangudai that's rallied straight over it, and he's going to go down instantly. It's I think maybe he was just hot and he just melted in the sun. I have no idea, but that was insanely fast. So definitely interesting choice here. So Shoes is going for the steeled arrow. Personally, I'd have gone for the ranged defense to try and keep those Mangudai alive a little bit longer. Tower going up, but the horseman is going to find a bit of damage here, it looks like. So catching them before the tower's fully constructed, and Ari's unit's going to be able to get across. Microing the villager away, really nice, but now all of the units are appearing, and are they going to jump in? One villager down, and 2 deciding to mine, and 2 down, and a 3rd. Okay, and now he's seen the trade. Louis knows the danger. The Mongol trade is active, so these units are going to be really focusing down all of these trade. But on the backside, oh, a nice counter raid there, idling the villagers. No villager deaths and getting caught by these spears. Hey, that's the right call there, pulling those guys out before they all get mown down by the TCs. We can see the traders getting taken out one by one as they stream across, and so now Shoes is going to have to respond. That trader is really trying to run away, and the villager, they're trying to make it, but no, they've given up. They've just taken a nap, and they're going to take the beating that they've asked for. So these guys, the tower's taking out most of these archers, and that's quite a bit of military that's been taken out there by those towers and by these defensive units. So now it's back to even Stevens. Even with the 7 villagers that Louis managed to take out, that trade is going to be able to compensate for a lot of that. So we're going to have to see what they do. Both guys massing up units. We've got a small contingent here just coming out of Louis' base, and we can see the Keshiks and the Mangudai there on the top side. So getting a nice little clean up there, healing up the Keshiks just a little bit, but there's a tower on the gold, which I think we all know what that means. There's going to be a castle age coming. I can see it coming. Heavy on food, but this is going to be a real danger for Louis, I think. He's got these berries, but he's closing himself in quite tightly, so I think that's actually going to mean the Mangudai can probably get very close to the edges there. Maybe pulling that out just a little bit further would have been good, and also given access to that stone for later. But once these berries run out, which he's hoovering up super quickly, it's going to mean that he's going to have to come out onto the food on this south side, so that's going to be a real danger for him. Fighting with this cavalry, the Mangudai is trying to slowly take out that camel, doing quite a lot of damage because they also don't have any ranged armor, so they both countered very heavily by ranged. But this is where the only units that can really catch them are the camels, so this is going to be where, if he just keeps doing this, he's going to slowly whittle them down. Finally, the ranged defense is coming in, and if we take a little look over at the trade stats, we've got 9 so far, so this is really, you can see the eco is really starting to equalize even with 2 TCs from Louis. So we can see the military running around, and back onto stone on the front, so whether he's going to be going for a third TC, potentially, or whether this is for emplacements in Castle Age. But the phalanx is coming in to give those spearmen extra range, which means they should be able to reach the cavalry just that little bit more easily. If we take a look, we've also got a cheeky little raid on the south side, catching those villagers while they're idle. Keshik's running in, and not enough villagers garrisoned to do that damage, so now these guys want to pull away, but that's a nice little pick up there of 3 villagers down, and forcing Louis back into his base. So very, very heavy on the stone there. We've got enough gold for our age up, but we've got no food. So what's your plan, Louis? What's going to happen? This is the problem with hoovering up those berries very early. Now, while these cavalry units are massing up and around, trying to get that wall up, but getting caught out by the Keshiks, and the army's going to come across. Is Shu's going to get there before he pull away? Okay. Is he... couple of Keshiks maybe going down, or are they just going to make it out? And there we go, the Mangudai starting to pick off a few units as they run away, as they should be. So we've got quite a few camels coming in now, and if we take a look out, so this is really good for Shoes. Although these units are looking very weak at the moment, he's keeping all of this military in his base, which means it's going to be very difficult to stop the trade that is slowly mounting up in the back. So a couple of units caught out there, and a nice cheer from the Mongol horde. And if we take a look, he's actually going out really far onto these, and unfortunately a Mangudai is going to spot it. So is Shu's going to notice this when he's around? Look at this. He is. There we go. He's caught it just as those villagers go out. One villager down, and I don't know if Louis noticed just yet because he's focusing on his base. All of them are just surrounding. Is the Keshik going to come in? He is. So Shoes knows these guys are here, and he's really going to put the hammer on them. So that's 8 down so far, and these guys are just going to chase, and the Mangudai will be getting a few of those as they try and run away. So this... oh no, even more. These guys are going to be taking an absolute beating. And we can see on the south side, some Keshiks are running these units around. Here they go. They come to meet them to defend those villagers, but that's a nice little pickup again from Shoes. And he comes into the base, and he's idling at the same time, so hitting from all angles. But better make sure he pulls those Keshiks away, because they're going to get caught by the spears, and those archers are going to do a huge amount of damage to the Mangudai. So again, that's a lot of military loss there for Shoes. Pulling in, Keshiks coming in to try and do some more damage, going for the villagers or the camels. I'm not quite sure who he's targeting, but running straight into that horde was not the best idea that Mongols ever had. So there we go, all of these units running around trying to get villagers down. We're up to 9 down by Shoes, and we got 7 down by Louis. So now, with the trade, the Mongol eco is really starting to pick up in comparison. So now, better make sure you run away from those camels. They all go red and they look very sick at that stage. But I think this is very dangerous from Louis to still be out here, even with a couple of military to defend, because Shoes knows he's here. We have got the whole thing, and he's doing a little train. Is he trying to connect the network? I'm not quite sure why those are. We're not Byzantines, we don't get vision, do we? So now it's... now we've got to check that Shoes doesn't get caught out on this exposed food here. So no pro scouts going on, which I know a lot of people have been testing out this new patch, myself included. So he is actually out on the deer, and we can see that Louis isn't going for the castle age now. He looks like he's balancing his eco a little bit, and he's maybe he... No. Oh, there we go. He has queued it up. It just doesn't come up until thingy. So we've got boot camp that's going to be buffing up all that infantry, and then we've got the culture wing. Interesting. I guess if you're not doing any fighting, that boot camp could have waited, and you could save that additional, is it 20%? But so 2 minutes, 1 minute 45 on the culture wing coming in. So she's going to have to be really careful to not allow that to get away from him. He's raiding on the south side to draw his attention, and hitting the top side as well. So are these Keshik going to be able to do enough damage while they're getting debuffed by the camels? I'm not sure. This is a huge... Ooh, okay, those ranged units are really hitting the Mangudai. Keshik's running around trying to just kite. They're not attacking the villagers, but idling them, which is also damage. Always good to remember for us lower players that idling economy is almost as important as killing them, because you still want to keep your units alive. So the Mongol units really starting to go down now. But a few little pickups here, and now this is Louis is trying to defend himself with a little quick gate. Is he going to be able to get through? Not quite. And all those units have just been taken out and now getting chased back towards the base. They're going to get pinched between the TC and the army. That's really not where you want to be in this situation. We can see all the villagers out here still getting caught out by these units. Are they going to stop attacking the mill, or are they just going to build a new mill and carry on? Not sure. So this is just crazy. Come on, guys, get the villagers. That's it. There we go. So just carry on. And they're going to start, of course, they're going to start fishing. Because, you know, why wouldn't you be fishing when you've got a load of cavalry literally knocking on your door? We can see that there's a scout over here trying to cause some problems for the trade. We've got the cavalry running around in the base. This is absolute insanity. And we've got the villagers leading that cavalry on a merry chase with a small contingent of defending units that's being met by some more camels. So these units are trying to get round to get to the villagers. Louis has just hit the castle age, and so now he's going to be able to get that preservation of knowledge that allows him to get 20% off his technologies, which is going to be really, really useful. So here we go. We can see that the Mangudai are there, and are the Keshiks going to be able to do it? Are they focusing on the camels? I think that's the right call, because then if you get rid of that debuff, all of your units are going to be able to do more damage. Keshik on the backside going into the archers there, and these guys are, look at how quickly they're taking them down. They might not get the bonus damage, but they do have the night attack, so they are going to be doing a lot more. Boot camp is helping these guys survive a little longer, but that was a really nice cleanup for Shoes and a really bad loss there for Louis. If we take a little look, where is his villager horde gone? They've actually run away over onto the stone. Of course they have. Back on stone, because we need more stone. Kurultai coming up. Where is he building it? Where are we? Here we go, back in the base. Obviously it can move, so building it close to where your villagers are is always the best Mongol idea. We can see some walls going up here to try and stop the cavalry running around, and Louis then is getting some fish and stone walling around the sacred site. I'm not sure I like it this side. If you've got the control and you're not being attacked, it would have been better to push it away from Shoes and keep it for yourself, but you know, what do I know? We don't see any religious units coming out just yet for Louis. Checking his base to see whether we've got any. We don't. So we definitely want to see somebody picking up those relics, although the Mongols are living their best trading life. 33 traders now, so they're also getting 7 wood, 7 food, and 79 gold. That's a lot. So we can see from his gold there that he's actually swimming in it. He's living his best gold-filled life. And we can see the Steppe Lancers coming in, so the Keshiks are going to get even more healing. We've got the veteran Mangu-die coming through as well, and these units are just going to be taking out those houses to try and cap Louis, because if this one goes down, that's going to take him down, so he can't get any more units out. Military looking fairly even. Obviously, it's you know, it's very cavalry heavy for Shoes on this side. He's taking the more knights or more cavalry approach to heart here, and but these Mangudai numbers are starting to grow. The Kurultai being dropped, so that's going to heal up all these units and be a really nice place for the Mongols to take this fight. And that's something really good to remember. The Mongols can do this. They can create a really good spot for them to take any fight with that healing, and then they can pull back and slowly move it forward. So it's a bit like a keep creep, but with a Kurultai crawl, if you like. If we take a little look, we've got some siege workshops going over here. We're securing up a bit more food. We're out on this side getting even more food and towering up. And the stone wall has actually got on the sacred site as well. Still, our first religious unit, the shaman for Shoes, is in. If we take a little look, he's going to be going out and grabbing this relic. It's probably not a good idea to try and grab the one by the villagers over there. So pulling these cavalry and kiting with the Mangudai as they were born to do, and now these numbers are looking very, very strong. 22 Keshiks. That's a real powerhouse, and there's still a couple of villagers around here getting caught out. They are not quite a chop through, but these two are not going to be lasting long. Sorry guys, you got caught out, I'm afraid. And we can see eco-text coming in now, so if we check out the thing, we don't have preservation of knowledge. That's definitely an oversight here from Louis, because that reduces all of your technologies. So your wheelbarrow would be cheaper, and this, so that would actually be, basically you would make the saving of this tech because it's so cheap. So that needs to be the first thing that you do once you get that age up. But Louis moving around here, trying to secure this up. The gold's not going to last much longer, and he's going to have to find some more. And it's either underneath the Kurultai or on this side where his villagers are getting kited now by even more cavalry. So 23 villagers taken out by the Mongols, and that number is just continuing to grow. I think maybe an accidental villager pull there. I don't imagine they were supposed to be coming in to fight the Abbasid archers, but all of those units going down very quickly. Do we see composite bows? We don't. So, and there we go, the Mongol horde in the base just outside of TC range, destroying those buildings, and this is going to really hurt Louis because he's going to start losing that the Golden Age bonus that you get as the Abbasid, which is also going to be hurting his economy. So it's going to be a double whammy that you get housed and you lose economy as well. So we can see that Louis out here on the food, really struggling now, getting pushed off all of the exposed food. Towers going up around the map, securing these berries, the deer and the fish in the centre, and units coming on the other side. So Louis really getting pinched on both sides, and his army back in his base trying to defend as this gold vein is literally about to go. And then where's he going to go? I imagine it will be on the south side down here, with walls coming up there to try and prevent any raids. So more villagers getting taken out as they build the walls, and this is now Keshik healing, mobile healing, because they can hit the walls and do that. So actually it kind of works in his favour to have these little walls dotted around. But it does force the fight into a place where Louis done it. Look at this little tunnel he's created, I love it. So he's doing the line formation to try and get the most damage out of it. Kurultai miles away, and so the fight is going to take place here. And let's watch it go as more walls are coming up as Louis tries to close his base off with this fight. So we can see here the camels are debuffing them. Look, they all look sick. They're all purple. It's like they're poisoned, but they're not quite. Mangudai trying to take out the spears, but the archer's getting them, and this archer mass is doing a huge amount of damage. Trying to circle round, splitting up. There we go. And the Mangudai still doing it, but Louis target firing them like a champ. So you can see these Mangudai going down really, really quickly. And are they going to get any catches on those villagers? A couple maybe caught out, but yeah. They've managed to get those walls up very, very quickly. Is there space? Oh, just gone up. So now all of those villagers are going to be secure for the time being. Still managing to get in the base and cause a little disruption. With that mobility, they do have the advantage in that case. But, oh no, the TC's gone down. So while they were taking that fight on the side, Shoes took the opportunity and his main army's actually in his base. Oh no, this is really not a good position for Louis now. Oh dear. So 28 villagers have gone down. The units are coming in, but it's literally going to be a landmark snipe under the Kurultai in the base. All of these units healing up. Let's take a look and see more units streaming across. We can see them coming. Camels trying to do their best to take out the Keshiks, and all of them running back under the Kurultai. And now this is actually going to be the perfect spot for him to take a fight. Mangonel coming in and to take out these archers. And is there going to be... Ooh, nice hit on the camel there. And these Keshiks are really tanky now. They've got... Whistling arrows are coming in, the improved whistling arrow. Keshiks might be debuffed, but they're doing a huge amount to the crossbows and these archers. No composite bows just yet, so these archers aren't going to be the super mega archers, and the military is dropping down to 10. If we take a look, there we go, and a wallalol to end. Louis calls it as his TC is being taken out by the Mongols. What an absolutely mad cavalry-only play there from Shoes. And here we are just before GG was called, as the Mongol horde is doing their sneak attack on the TC while the army is out trying to defend the raids coming in. So let's zoom out, bring up the interface and give it a little pause, and then we can check out the final state of play and see how this game could have gone. So we spent a lot of time in Louis' base. Let's take a little look over at Shoes' side, or more knights. So we can see he's got 39 traders, even more coming in, so these guys are absolutely pumping. If we look at the eco there, 2,000 per minute is absolutely insane. So all the techs coming in, we can see all the military techs. The eco techs, I think they don't load correctly. Oh no, they do. So actually no eco techs in for Shoes, so definitely something he could have been spending that gold on. He's got so much gold, so making sure he's getting all his eco techs is definitely something that would have helped. But if we take a little look over at his base, he's got loads of production, so we can see 6 stables, 3 ranges and a siege workshops as well. So that mangonel, or the couple of mangonels coming in, working really well. But because of that trade, he obviously can't He obviously can't build any walls, but he's got towers dotted across that also buffs up that Yam network, so they get that increased movement speed as well. We can see he's moved out onto the food here, so he's getting the berries, and in this case the spawn is actually pretty good for him because he can chuck a tower down and block off quite a lot of these resources. The same on this top side with 2 berries and 2 deer all in the same place. It was definitely a difficult place for Louis to defend. And because of that food, he hasn't got any pastures as of yet, so he's still out on the map food. So that would be something he'd have to set up later to make sure he doesn't run out. But there's still plenty of deer. There's a nice little boar just by this girl, which I imagine they planned to get, and they just decided to save that little bit of roast boar for later. If we take a little look over at Louis's side, I think one of the big problems that Louis had was he hoovered up these berries at the back very, very quickly, and then he had no other safe food, so he decided to go all the way out over here to these central ones, which got caught out by a couple of rallied in Mangudai, and then he just started that chase where they were running over here to the deer, and then to the berries, and then to the fish, and that's how he lost a lot of villagers there as well. So that's a big problem, that there was no secure food, and because he had his military defending all of those raids, Shoes had the map control, so he can go out here quite safely without too much concern for his villagers. Maybe a few towers would have helped, but that early on really did make the big difference, and even on 2 TCs, his eco is way behind. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of maths. I'm sure it's going to be wrong, but excuse me. So we got 39 traders, so that would leave us with 61 villagers. So even though he's on 2 TC and his villagers are also cheaper, then it means that he was only like 8 ahead overall. Obviously Shoes took a huge amount out here, but keeping those numbers down, definitely you can see from the eco here that there's definitely a huge difference in all of the eco counts. So I think doing that probably would have helped. Also going to castle and not getting composite bows when you're very heavily into archers, so 21 archers, that extra 33% attack speed would have made a huge difference. And then we do have the preservation of knowledge that has come in, but that didn't go in straight away, so some of the techs that came in were full price that would have actually helped quite a lot as well. The walling, I really liked this little quick wall that secured this, and over here just sort of funneling the units around, so stuff like this. It wasn't worrying about walling off the whole map, but just trying to keep him out of certain positions. So once these berries had gone, obviously he moved out, but these stone walls there doing a really good job, and it's something that the Mongols definitely struggle against, because their cavalry can't really do anything against the janky walls that load up on this gradient there. But this final play from Shoes was really good. This fight over here, even because I was so focused on it, I didn't know that he was also attacking the base over here, and there's nothing that Louis could do about that final push. But I think securing some food earlier definitely would have helped, but the main thing against all the Mongols, and we've all been there, we all know, is you've got to stop these traders. If they can get that gold going, they can just rebalance with the market, they get loads of food and wood as well, and they can just keep pumping, and you can see there's even more in queue, and that was just going to keep going and going and going. So not being able to do damage, and this cavalry horde doing a huge amount with those Mangudai and the hunters, definitely put the final nail in the coffin there for Louis. But it was super fun to see a play with the Mangudai and the Khan hunters, and I really hope that we see more of those on the ladder, unless they're against me, and then don't use them because I lose to those myself. So, you know, just a polite request. But I hope you've enjoyed this cast. I hope you can see the amazing plays these guys did, and I'll see you next time for another casted game.